Welcome to part number 3 of the Metroid Zero Mission 9% run. In this part, we are going to learn just how weak we are with so few items. At this point in the challenge, we only have 5 missiles. Now this may not seem like such a big deal when we're going through the majority of the game. Most enemies seem to go down rather easily with the ice beam, and you don't really need missiles. However, you will realize just how big of a handicap this is when you go against the bosses. Since you only have 5 missiles, you need to find a way to recharge your missiles during the boss fight. Luckily, every single boss fight in the game offers a way to regenerate their missiles. They either have projectiles or fireballs or even parts of their body that can be destroyed and will sometimes have missiles. And sometimes this can get a little tedious. As you can see right here, I'm out of missiles, and I obviously need missiles to kill the boss. So the only thing I can do is destroy these projectiles and hope that missiles fall out. Also for this boss, I need to keep this enemy frozen. He acts as a platform and it will allow us to hit the weak point on top of the boss. You have to hit the pink vine type things. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but you have to hit them. So you have to freeze this enemy repeatedly in order to stay up here. Otherwise it takes a lot longer. So whenever it's about to become unfrozen, just jump and shoot down. It will become frozen again. It's actually really easy. And then all you have to do is destroy the projectiles, which sometimes they refuse to drop missiles. I don't know what it is, but sometimes you just get really unlucky. If you're feeling risky, you can jump down and grab some missiles that it may drop. But I like to just stay on the platform and just hope that the missiles drop near me, from the projectile that comes closest to me. I just hope the missiles drop from there. But this boss isn't too strong. It doesn't take that many missiles to take out. However, the next boss we'll be facing in just a few minutes, he does take a lot of missiles to take down. We'll be seeing that in just a moment. Anyways, for items in this video, the only thing we are getting is the gravity suit, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's the only item we collect in this video. The main objective of this video is to go kill Ridley. You do have to kill both Ridley and Kraid, unlike the original game. In the original game, there was a way to skip both Ridley and Kraid and advance to the final area of the game right away. Unfortunately, this was fixed in the remake. Also, during this part, you have to do a lot more infinite bomb jumping, so at this point, you probably should have, gotten the hang of the trick. You may or may not have mastered it, but you should at least have a basic grasp on how to do it. And besides, you don't have to go that far up in this part of the game. It's not as hard as the Varia suit jump. I think that's the longest one in the challenge. Actually, I'm nearly positive that's the longest one in the challenge. So once you get past that, you should be fine. The rest of them aren't too hard. This segment isn't too bad, to be perfectly honest. A lot of the enemies here, they're slow. They can be frozen quite easily with the ice beam. But if they do manage to hit you, keep in mind that they do quite a bit of damage, so just watch out for them. Keep your distance. I know that's hard because you only have the basic power beam. You don't have the long beam, so that can be tricky at times. But if you ever are in need of a health refill or a missile refill, you can always kill the infinitely respawning bug-type enemies and regain your health or missiles that way. This area isn't too bad. It's definitely a lot harder in the original game, but here you shouldn't struggle. These doors can only be destroyed by missiles. I like to go into Morph Ball right next to them, dodge the wave projectile, and then shoot a missile in their face. Not that hard. Usually they drop a missile refill or something like that, so yeah. Anyways, here is another unknown item. This is actually the gravity suit. We won't be seeing that until the very end of the game, so just keep that in mind. It's a suit that we cannot use yet. Anyways, the door is locked, and there is Ridley. Now Ridley, he's one of the most tedious bosses I've ever faced, at least in the context of this challenge. Ridley takes a lot of missiles. I don't remember the exact number, but it will pop up on screen right about now. And as you can see, it's a lot of missiles. So you only have 5 missiles, so you obviously need to recharge somehow. And the only way to do this is to destroy the fireballs he shoots out. Now this boss would be nearly impossible under normal circumstances since you don't have many missiles and you don't have much health. However, there's a neat little trick you can abuse, as you may have noticed already. If you stand below Ridley's claws, he can't hurt you. He can't hurt you one bit. It's not as easy as it looks. You do need to be in a semi-specific location, but it's somewhat generous. Definitely watch out for the tail. That is going to be the thing that hits you the most, if anything hits you at all. My advice would be to stay more towards the front than the back. It's definitely safer to be more towards his head than his tail, because the tail can do actually quite a bit of damage. I think you die in 3 or 4 hits. I don't remember. I only died by him twice, and that's when I was kind of learning the trick. It's not that hard to figure out. Just take like 5 minutes to practice it, and you should be fine. It's really not that hard, but just the fight, it goes on for so long. It's really just one of those marathon battles. So you have to stay focused the entire time. You have to make sure you stay in the same spot under him, otherwise you're gonna get hit, and he will kill you if you're not careful. I don't remember if the fireballs can drop health. I think they can. I do not remember. I only fought him a couple of times. My guess would be yes, they do. Oh yes, they do, right there. There's some health right there. Okay. So it does drop health, so if you are ever in need of health, hopefully the fireballs will drop them. But his attacks are still very powerful, so watch out for them. Anyways, as you continue to damage him, the color will change, so I guess don't be distracted by the color. Not much changes within the boss fight itself. He does get marginally faster, but it's not that big a deal. You should be able to adapt to it just fine. Other than that, just continue doing what you're doing since the beginning of the fight, and eventually he will go down. He will explode in a fiery explosion. Explode in an explosion, that's kind of redundant. Regardless, defeating Ridley will open up one of the 2 doors needed to progress to the very end of the game. And yeah, he drops a bunch of missiles. More missiles than you can hold. So yeah, with Ridley defeated, we can exit out of this area because that's the only thing we came here to do. So with Ridley dead, we can leave. One more infinite bomb jump before you can escape. Not that bad. The game expects you to have the high jump at this point, so there's a few times where you need to do infinite bomb jumping to get past an area where the game expects you to have the high jump boots. Anyways, I will see you all in part number 4.